Where should we move to in Mexico? Hi, broadcasting not live from Morelia, Mexico. I'm Bill the Geek. This is the Bill Dallas Lewis channel, and we make videos about the joys of living in Mexico. One of the biggest questions I get thousands of times, people just ask me this question all the time: Bill, where should I move to in Mexico? At the very end of this video, I'm going to share with you a very compelling story that I picked up with an expat that was living in a trailer park in Mazatlan. You've got to see it. It's at the very end of the video. Fortunately, I've lived in scores of places, large and small, in my 20 years of living in Mexico. I can't tell you the names of all the places that I've lived in and visited. I think that for the last 3 years of making these videos, I've tried to figure out what's a good answer to this question to the many people that ask it of me. I've tried to come up with an answer that will give people a warm, soft landing. I really think about people that are challenged with their use of the Spanish language. Looking back at people asking me this question, there are so many questions I need to ask them before I can even begin to give them a decent answer. Questions like, what is your budget? What type of climate do you like? How do you plan on using your time? Do you like people? Do you need to be around other people? Those are a few questions that immediately come to mind. Of course, there are many, many more. The big challenge of answering the question, where should I move to in Mexico? The big challenge is we're all so different as individuals. Many times I talk about how affordable Mexico is, how inexpensive it is in Mexico, or I guess some people would even say cheap. But I didn't move to Mexico for that reason. I was fortunate. When I was in college at Dartmouth, I had spent 9 weeks living with a Mexican family in San Luis Potosi. It was weird. Mexicans loved me. Strangers would walk up to me on the street, ask what my name was, what was I doing here. I would tell them I was a student. They would invite me to come and have dinner with them and their families. They loved me. After graduating from Dartmouth College, located in Hanover, New Hampshire, I was fortunate enough to live all over the United States. Boston, Los Angeles, Cincinnati, Columbus, North Carolina, South Carolina, Houston, Nebraska. I've been around pretty good. San Francisco. I learned skills that gave me the ability to work online. I was making really good money, and it ended up that I could live anywhere in the world. I looked around at many people that I knew in the United States. I saw how they were living, and to me it kind of looked dull and boring. I wanted something totally new, something totally different. I wanted to be a new me, and that's when I moved to Mexico. Please leave a comment. Tell us what you think. If you know somebody that's trying to figure out where they want to live in Mexico, click the share button. And hey, why not click the like button? I wanted to get away from humdrum. But to get back to the question, where should I live in Mexico? I started telling people move to Ajijic. There's a lot of expats there. They all speak English. They can tell you all the tips of living in Mexico. I thought that would be a good landing spot for lots of people. I told people to join Facebook groups in cities all over Mexico. Get to know expats all over Mexico. Figure out where you want to live from there. But then I moved to Morelia. I don't know anybody here, and I like it. I have a couple of friends that are subscribers. I've talked to the phone on them a couple of times. I think we'll get to be good friends, but I haven't seen an expat the whole time I've been here, and I really like it. We have a new Facebook page. It's called Mexico Expats Living in Mexico, Bill Dallas Lewis. Come join us. There's a link in the description below. I'm in a brand new place, creating a brand new me. I'm not really a groups person. Groups want solidarity. The motto for groups is, be like us. So back to the question, where should I live in Mexico? The real answer is I don't know. I'm going to close this video with a very powerful message that I got from a lady that was living in a trailer park in Mazatlan, Mexico. So I'm walking around this trailer park, shooting a video about living in a trailer park in Mexico, and the people were very friendly. A lot of expats living in there. They were showing me their fabulous mobile homes, telling me their stories about how they got there. And then I met this lady and her husband. They had a fabulous mobile home. It was like one of those, it was like a souped up Greyhound bus like John Madden would live in when he's on the road. It was beautiful. It looked like you were in a Marriott hotel in there. The wife shared with me that they had bought a very expensive house in Ajijic, and they had lived there for 2 years, but she felt stationary. She didn't like it. She was seeing the same people all the time, and they were all expats. She said after exploring Mexico, she found out the whole place was great. She didn't want to be confined, so she said, we bought this thing and now we can travel all over Mexico all the time and enjoy it all. Now they live wherever they want, all over Mexico, enjoying the joys of living in Mexico. A true story. In summary, all I can say is find a spot, then visit other spots from that spot. But the key, I think the most important thing about Mexico and moving to Mexico is don't get married to the first spot you run into. We go live every Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. Click the subscribe button and you'll get a notification and you can join in on the fun. That's every Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have many more videos to come. Click that subscribe button. If you're trying to figure out where you want to live in Mexico, this is the place to check out. We'll see you in the next video.